Well, President Biden finally did it. He signed that sucker, actually a day ahead of time. The 1.9 trillion. Now, everybody, the internet's full of, when are you going to get the check? When you do this and everything. And, there's a good article in the New York Times a day or so ago, and I'm going to put this in the description too, so you can download it and read it all because it's a good overview of everything. Remember, everything you read about it, you're missing all of it. I mean, these are hundreds and hundreds of pages of programs, that have all kinds of money for everything. So everybody knows about the stimulus checks of $1,400 and, you can't make over 80,000, as an individual, and I guess 160 or so as a family. But more than that, here's some other things that you may not know. Do college students count as eligible dependents? Yes. Okay. So this is the first time. They didn't in past dependents. Do older relatives who live with us count as dependents? Yes. If claimed as dependents, these relatives are also eligible. So now you have college students, you're going to get an extra $1,400 because they live with you. You got grandma down in the basement or in the attic. That's going to get you $1,400. Which year of income determines eligibility? Most recent year on record at the IRS. They're going to use that. If you already filed your taxes for 2020, they'll use that. And if not, they'll use 19. What if I receive a stimulus payment based on the 19, but my income reported in 2020 return that hasn't filed yet is too high to qualify? You probably don't have to return the money. So that's what they have to do. If your 2020 is not a lot, then it's wise. They're going to use your 2019 and you'll get a bigger check. And you don't have to pay back. What if I'm newly eligible for the stimulus payment based on my 2020 income, but haven't filed my 2020 return? Okay, now this is also, you can try to file quickly. If not, there's a provision in the Treasury Department to make supplementary payments by September. So if you don't get one, then you could do it on your 2021 taxes. So you hear that? They're sending out payments now, and I think they're starting this weekend. And then it says here, into September, if you didn't get one now, and because they didn't have your taxes or something, then they're going to do it again in September. But, this kind of game, no one knows for sure. So you just check to make sure. And if not, if all that screws up, when you file for your 2021 taxes, there's going to be something on that tax return that you could say, hey, I didn't get my stuff. Okay. If I have a baby anytime in 2021 and meet the income requirements, do I get the $1,400 child too? Any baby, listen to this, any baby born in 2021 or before is eligible. Yeah. So you have a baby this year and you have a tax form last year. You're going to get $1,400 for that. That's what it says here. Now, everything I say, I have to rely on New York Times, and they do better research than I do on a lot of this stuff, and me. And then plus, you're relying on the government saying what's true today. It won't be true tomorrow. So everything is, up for grabs. Okay, so when will payment arrive? Okay, the Secretary said first payments will be sent out direct deposit early this weekend. And then you can always go to IRS Get My Payment tool. Actually, it's Get My Payment. So go to irs.gov and look for Get My Payment. What should I do if I still haven't got my payment in the past round of stimulus? Okay, if you were in fact eligible to receive it, you can you can try to recover it with the so-called recovery rebate credit. You hear that? Recovery rebate credit when filing your return this year. Okay, so if you didn't get your credit last year, or in September or whatever, then when you file this year's tax, you go and fill out the recovery rebate credit, and you'll get it then, the $600 or the $1,200, whatever. How does the stimulus package affect unemployment? I think we all know that. It's an extra 25 weeks till September 6th, and it's only $3,000. But here's the wrinkle. You get a $10,000, actually it's $10,200 not taxable. See, unemployment is taxable, but now what they're doing is taking the first $10,200 and making tax-free if you make less than $150,000. I mean, that's astounding to me, is that now poor people are making $150,000. See, I thought income subsidies for poor people. Nah. Unless we think you're poor at $150,000. And actually for childcare, it's up to $400,000. Now that's crazy. That's right. You can't we deal with the government thinking it's rational. No, it's not rational at all. So don't think it should be done a certain way. You just go out and see what the hell they're doing and try to use it. You can't figure out, hey, this is wrong, this is right. That's already determined. You can't mess with that. And so don't waste your time. Okay, I already filed my 2020 taxes. How do I claim the new tax rate? It's not clear yet. See, at least he's honest. The Senate has to decide. So, in other words, how do you figure out that you don't have to pay taxes on your on that first $10,200 of IRS taxes? They haven't decided yet. So, stay tuned. How does the benefit extension work? The extended payments will continue to be delivered through different federal programs, largely based on the type of work you did and for whom. Benefits from pandemic unemployment assistance, which covers self-employed gig workers, part-timers, and others who are typically ineligible for regular employment. See, that's important. I think that half the country has no idea that they're eligible for this pandemic unemployment because it's not traditional. And so that, if you're in doubt whether you just apply, it doesn't matter. What the hell? You apply, they say no, fine. Okay. A chance of saying yes, and you wasted a half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Who cares? What did you do the last hour? Okay. Gig workers and others who are typically ineligible for regular payment benefits will be available for 79 weeks, up from 50. So now they're going from 50 weeks of this pandemic unemployment to 79 weeks of the pandemic. How many weeks in a year? Yeah, right. See, that's over a year and a half or so. And it runs through September 6th. So you're going to get that forever. And payments through the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation Program, which essentially extends benefits to people who exhaust their regular state benefits, will be available for 53 weeks. In other words, that's something, if you're getting regular, then you get the extra. Nonsense. Every state's a little different, so you got to figure that out. What happens to supplemental payments? If you qualify for any payments, you also receive the full $300 supplemental payment for weeks ending after March 14th through the 6th. Okay. In other words, now if you're on unemployment now, that ends March 14th. That's in a few days. Okay. Now you get the new $300 for until September 6th. And the stimulus package also extends the extra 100 weekly payment called the Mixed Earner Supplement. I have no idea what the hell that is through September 6th. But if you're getting that extra weekly payment called the Mixed Earner Supplement, you get that till September 6th. This payment helps people who have a mixed income of both self-employment and wages paid by employers. So that means you're making, driving for Uber on the part-time, and you have a regular job and you get a W-2. So that's the one. The legislation also clarifies that the $300 federal supplement will not be counted when calculating eligibility for Medicaid and children health insurance programs. So you hear that? So if you're getting Medicaid, this $300 a month extra will not be counted as income for eligibility for Medicaid, which is health insurance. It's great. And that has changed a lot too. It's higher now. So that's why I always check. Go to healthcare.gov to see if you're eligible for Medicaid. And also the CHIPS, Children's Health Insurance Program. So, because sometimes, you can't make more than $28,000 or something like that. If you're getting this $300 a week extra, that won't be counted. Will payments be interrupted? Experts say there may be a gap for beneficiaries in many states because it usually takes a couple of weeks for the agencies to program any benefit extensions. So the answer to that is yes. I mean, this is, imagine the lines of code that have been there since 1960 to send out checks. And then you have to change, one little thing somewhere, and you have no idea how that affects the whole system until you start sending checks and say, holy shit, we got to change this. What does the relief package do about health insurance? COBRA. You know what COBRA is? It's not a snake. It's COBRA. That's a Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act. And actually, a Lesco Help member was saying she was looking for a grant to pay for COBRA. COBRA happens when you're working for somebody and you lose your job, and they keep you on health insurance, but you have to pay for it. It's no big deal if you have to pay for it, but you cover it. So to keep that, what this new act does is going to pay for it. Under the relief legislation, government will pay entire COBRA from April to September 30th. Okay? Wow, that's cool, isn't it? So you get April, May, June, July, September. That's 5 months of COBRA. So your insurance, what, $1,000 a month? That's $5,000. $2,000 a month? That's $10,000. Wow. Will it cost health insurance I buy through the exchange effect? Well, the cost of health. So you don't have health insurance, right? You go to healthcare.gov, right? And you see that. Wow, yes. And you're going to save a ton of money there because they're lowering the amount that they expect you to pay, and they'll pay the rest. So if like now they only want you to pay 8.5%, and this is down from like 10%. So this is significant because 2 percentage points, if you're paying $1,000 a month, man, that's real income. And so you could get $500 extra a month or more through this forever, I guess, or unless maybe it's only a year. Don't even know. How do I sign up for health insurance? Okay, now usually you can only sign up in like December or something like that, but now it's eligible. So if you don't have health insurance, you go and find out, or even if you have a program now, because it's going to be cheaper. It's cheaper now, and you could save hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, and it's going to be in effect till May 15th. So you have now till May 15th to sign up for the government health care program. So if you don't have health care, at least look. Okay, if it's too much, you can't. Okay, you make a decision. That's up to you. You have to do it. You can also switch plans to try to get a lower price you're paying already and get a more generous coverage. See? So all that is changing. Go and take a look. There are any changes in healthcare flexible spending accounts? None at this time. Okay, taxes. What is changing about child and dependent tax care credit? Okay, big time changes. Okay, it's for child care. Now you get a tax credit, but the tax credit is not. It's a forgivable tax credit. In other words, you don't have to owe the government tax money to get this credit. That means if you don't owe the government tax money, they're going to write you a check. So, and it'll be $4,000 for one child and $8,000 for two or more. Okay, and the government will give you that money if you're paying taxes and you pay the government more than $4,000, or if you won't have to pay the government that money. If you don't owe the government the money, then they send you the check. That's the way the new earned income tax credits and all these things are work. That's why it's complicated. A lot of people don't know. Get some free tax advice. You can go to the IRS. They have some good things that you follow, step by step, or go to 211.org or findhelp.org and ask for free tax advice. Get it. You walk in an H&R Block, it's going to cost you a few $100s you didn't have to, and they're going to sell you money, man. So that's why at outrageous interest rates. Stimulus package also significantly increases the income level at which the tax credit begins. In the past years, it started at just income $15,000. Now it's $125,000, and so you get that. Okay, now here. Previous credit was not further reduced by 20% regardless of income. But for this year, the legislation will begin to reduce your credit below 20% of households with incomes of more than $400,000. Crazy. What about dependent care flexible spending accounts? Not sure what that is. Stimulus packages make one big change for 2021. You can only set aside $10,500 in a dependent care account instead of $5,000. So maybe you know that. If you don't know what that is, like me, go to the IRS.gov and find out, hey, what the hell is dependent care account? Read up that. If not, then you call one of the free tax services and they'll help you with that. How does this change child tax credit? Bonanza here. For every child, $3,000 per child, 5 and under, and then 3,600 for 5 and under, and $3,000 for over that. And right, you could have 10 children, I guess. I haven't found how many children you're not allowed to have. So that's $3,000 for a child. $3,600 if your child is 5 and under. So you have 4 children, 3/4, that's $12,000 right there, right? How does it change the credit works? Now, here it gets interesting, because they hope to send you money not when you file taxes next year, but they hope by January, or no, by July, they start sending out monthly checks somehow. Now, it's not worked out. They don't know. They hope at least maybe you get the first 6 months in July, and then maybe monthly after. Stay tuned on that one. Who's eligible? Okay, that is it. Who's eligible? Gross income's up to $150,000. Okay. Wow. After that, the extra amount just goes down a little. How does the advance payment work? That's how they're paying. Who cares? Could I end up having to pay any of it back? Conceivably, yes. A taxpayer may receive too much money from the advance payment in certain circumstances, such as change of income or filing status, or if they no longer claim the child as a dependent. Single parents may run into the situation if the other parent claims the department. So, of course, there's a way that but it sounds pretty tough. What's happening to earned income tax credit? Okay, now this is interesting, because the earned income tax credit, we have that child tax credit is really the earned income tax credit. The other earned income tax credit is for people without children. It's a childless tax credit, and they'll give you $1,502 if you don't have a child. That's a tax credit. Again, you don't owe taxes, but you have to have income. So if you don't have income, you probably can't get it. So if you're on, stipends from the government or something like that, that's probably, you have to have some income. But then you have to be careful if you take that money as income, are you going to jeopardize, the other income you get? So you figure that out and see what's going on, because you have to ask the people giving you that check to see what they're going to do. The age range. Now, what they did is change the age. It used to be 25 to 65. So if you made, I think it's under, $16,000, and we're between 25 years old and 65 years old, they give you an extra $500. Now it's changed that you get an extra $1,500, and as little as 19 years old and forever. So from 19 to 137, if there's somebody that old, they could get that $1,500 a year if they don't make over, like, I think it's $21,000. How to separate? Are there any other changes? Little stuff. Taxpayers who qualify for the tax credit, are they still investment income? Housing. What kind of help for housing? Well, housing is cool because there's going to be rental. The rental program that's out there now, and actually, from the last stimulus package, they're just starting to hand out that money. So start applying for the one from December. That money is starting to be out now in March and April. So you apply for that. This will be another about the same amount coming on top of that. So that will be out, probably in a few months. Now they also have in this is another $10 billion for mortgages. Now, also in the mortgage, what's important is, besides just mortgage money to pay, is real estate taxes. So what you owe the county, because of real estate. So that's in there. So that kind of stuff. Let's see, student loan. Let's see, there is a big one for people who already have debt. You don't have to pay income taxes on the forgiven debt if you qualify for student loan forgiveness and cancellations. That's interesting. Because that what? Now, if you're in a government program on your student loan, and they forgive your student loan because you don't make a lot of income, and there's all kind of reasons. If you have a student loan, you want to know all those reasons on how to get it forgiven. But what they were doing is taxing you on that money you didn't get. This changes that. They're not going to tax you. And then also it's sort of talking about Congress in here, I don't know, is talking about getting $10,000 eliminated, okay? But that's not done yet, okay? Paid sick leave, yes. What they're doing is giving the businesses money for paid sick leave, and that's about it. Now, there's a whole bunch of other things too in the tax, but that's a lot to start with. on this. And so I'm going to put this in the link. And also there's another link. Actually, you can find it all on this link. It's lesgotraining.com, LESKO training, TRAINING, right? .com. And I have all my analyses on the new Biden programs are there. So find out about it. It's a free download. You put it in your email, download it. You got it all right there. You don't have to give me a nickel, okay? But get this stuff because this is stuff you're paying for, right? Whether you use it or not. So don't do that.